Hi guys, Dogo here with a new video, and this video will be a controversial one, or maybe not, I don't know. I have my fair share of opinions, I guess. But I'm going to talk about soft res raids or guilds and why I love them. So, big disclaimer, I'm going to most likely tilt a lot of people, make people mad. It is what it is. I don't really care. I frankly don't really like loot consoles. I just simply don't. I think when I'm raiding with a loot console, okay, he left. When I'm raiding with a loot console guild or loot console raid or whatever you want to call it, I believe that I'm doing a lot of damage here. Bye bye. I believe that my excitement for the raid is kind of diminished, especially if I play a very competitive like class that has a lot of like gear competition, which is normal, which is happening. I do believe like loot console guilds or raids are not my cup of tea. I am not really excited about it because I know that most likely I will not get a piece this raid. I will even not get a piece next raid. Maybe 3 raids I will not get any pieces because there is like no drops, or some people have priority for some reason. And that's why I kind of like soft resing. I like to have a +2. I like to have like the choice of a soft res list and say, okay, what am I going to pick? Do I go for a two-hander? Do I go for quick strike ring? Do I go for Akuria? Do I go for onslaught girdle? Do I want to go for Viscag if I'm doing Oni? Do I want to go for the neck? Am I going to make my own SR with a HR, for example? Am I going to join a SR guild where we kind of share the goods from the BOEs? And we let everyone SR what they want, but the BOEs are HR with the bindings, and we share the loot, for example. That is something that I personally can get behind. It's something I very much like. Now, it's not without any negatives, obviously. Loot Council has positives. For example, Loot Council Guild, it's very attendance heavy. So your attendance needs to be high. I'm gonna die here. The attendance needs to be high. The competition is also very high, and you have to perform as well. You don't, if you come without world buffs, well, you kind of slack, right? If you come without a consume, then they kind of see like, okay, you're really just there to be there as a number. You're not really trying to pull your weight. Which I understand that some people may say, oh, damn, this is like not casual at all, or that's hardcore. But I think consumables, like the little ones, like even get an elixir of giants is a consumable, which is not expensive. For example, a mongoose kind of pays itself off if you're doing an MC. If you're doing an MC, you get around 10 gold without like having a lot of luck with elemental fires, for example. So it pays itself. Having a wall buff should be kind of easy. Like there are 2 wall buffs that are basically free: the Rallying Cry and the Songflower. If you want to pay the DMT buffs, it's 5 gold. Obviously, it's annoying, but you can also make your own tribute run and get your own buffs if you want to. We're going to win for once the AV, which is pretty cool. So that aside, I'm like kind of in line with that. I think if I'm doing like SR, I'm not coming without any consumes. For example, all my consumes are already very ready. I just need the Songflower, and I'm not going to go for Warshift Blessing this time. Maybe I will do that once I'm like super bissed out, but right now I'm not bissed out yet. So for me, it's not necessary, but I will get my mongoose, I will get my elixir of giants or my echo, for example. So I think that that makes it for me very fun to raid. I just want to like be able to perform as well. But in SR raids, it is not mandatory, or like often it is not like looked very precisely. I would also say the competitive like DPS is higher on a loot console guild than with an SR guild, because obviously SR guilds, you're going to have a lot of people that need gear going into SR guilds, not really the progression. While loot console, everyone kind of works together into one goal, which is clearing the raid as efficient as possible. We'll try to spread the loot so it will become easier to do PWL later, for example. But personally, I'm a PvPer. Personally, I want to have gear to be able to perform better in everything, in PvE, but also in PvP. And I'm kind of egoistical in that aspect. I understand like some people may say, "Oh no, you're not a team player and whatnot," but I'm generally not really a team player with like what comes with gearing because I cannot really understand why you would pick a warrior over another, for example, for quick strike ring. If I didn't do SR raids, I would never have quick strike ring, which is a huge upgrade, which is going to last me for a lot of phases, if not all the phases. So, not all the phases, because I think Naxxramas, obviously, and AQ, you have very competitive choices there, but still, it's going to last me a long time. So I do love the fact that as a SR, I could SR the quick strike ring, and then I'm going to SR the BRE. For example, I did that the previous raid. BRE didn't drop, but quick strike ring dropped 2 times, so I had like 2 chances to get the quick strike ring. And the truth is, SR raids or SR guilds, you have very bad ones as well. You have the bad ones that are like 2 hour long, 3 hour long, and that those are the bad ones. And it is what it is. Not everyone has a lot of gear. Not everyone has the knowledge. Not everyone is like doing their best to make it as fast as possible, which is understandable. It's not a problem. Everyone on their own pace. But good SR raids are like 1 hour top, and they do loot at the end. You should never do loot in between bosses because there are situations where a piece of loot drops, you roll it out, people are leaving because they have nothing else SR'd. Or someone that really needs only strikers, like Striker's Bow, for example, Striker's Mark, they are SRing it, they are the only SR, they gain it. If you give it right away, the issue is you are facing maybe with the problem that he would maybe leave the raid because he already has his piece of loot, he already has SR. Why would he wait? Well, if you do it at the end, at least he sticks around till the end and he will get it for free. Like basically, because it's a SR, he's the only one, he's going to get it. And that kind of is a motivation for the people to actually like clear the raid faster, to get the loot faster. So I know it's frustrating sometimes to not get the loot directly, but a lot of people just leave once they have the loot or once they know they lost the loot. So that's why doing it at the end is the best possible way. I really love SRs. I think it gives me like that tinglement like in my stomach, like, oh, will I get the item drop from the SR? Will I get the Akuria? Will I get the BRE? Will I get the Obsidian Edge Blade? Will I get a Brutality Blade? Will I get Perdition Blade? Will I get a Corehound Tooth? Like all those things are really really cool, and I personally enjoy that. And I'm very tired of mages. Damn, not being able to move is so annoying. So now I can just like mount up and be gone. Hopefully he doesn't. All right, I'm gonna try to move like this. It's whatever. Um, I'm dead anyways. I understand like some people may like loot consoles, but the truth is, in a loot console, I most likely am not going to get quick strike ring as fast as I had it in SR raids. I could have been very unlucky because there were like 4 SRs on the quick strike ring. So I could have been very unlucky and get no piece of loot, but knowing that I was very close of getting that piece of loot is motivational, to be fair. For me, it is a motivation of, okay, let's go again. Let's try to get another raid, another SR. I'm gonna try to SR quick striking ring again and hope it drops again and hope I win the roll because it's one of the most prized rings in the game, and especially for warriors, they do like to SR it. So now you have something to look forward to. But in loot consoles, especially where there is no really a wish list. I don't like really understand like guilds that don't do wish lists, but that's my opinion. I think wish lists kind of like filters the loot, so you could actually like give prio to the people that wish list the items the highest. So you could actually know, okay, this one has Akuria top of the list, this one has Brutality Blade on top of the list. You know who to give what in general. So you can say, look, if Akuria drops, it is for you, but if Brutality Blade drops, you wishlist this as first, so you'll get it. But in SRs, you can swap every raid if you want to. I really enjoy that. I think a lot of people like have like a very bad or give a very bad reputation to SRs, but if it's done well and you have like competitive DPS coming into the raid, competitive healers that are like literally a bit geared, not like pure green items without healing, like healing power, for example, or tanks that are like literally not tanks. I think those raids are very enjoyable. And obviously, you are not going to be as competitive as a speedrun guild or as a loot console guild because they are aiming for other stuff. For example, to clear fast as possible. So you're not never going to do a 20-minute raid as a SR raid, but you're never going to like again have the possibility to have the gear as much as an SR raid, in my opinion. There are a few versions of SRs that you can use. For example, if you're doing your own, you have the plus twos with a plus one for dowsers, for example. You have also a plus twos to the people that are like joining, and then a plus one for example if you're like fully wall buffed. So for example, also washing blessings for the warriors. That is also a possibility. So it's a very performance heavy raid. You could also have like a plus one for tanks, or a plus one for healers, or a plus one for dwarf priests. You have multiple things to actually like attain better players or better classes or better combinations of classes to your raids if you so desire. So you have multiple possibilities to do so. And for Onyxia, it's always like 1+1, and you could HR something or go for a no HR, and then at that point you have a lot of people joining the raids. I'm gonna look up when I can do Onyxia, by the way. Onyxia will be in tomorrow, so I'll be doing it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. It is tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. Yes, it is tomorrow. But anyways, I'm actually really enjoying SRs. I think it's like, for me, the best way to do raids, especially like since I have a priest, I have a warrior. Now I'm generally not playing priest anymore. I'm playing like only my warrior. I'm leveling a alt, which is a hunter or a mage. I'm like hesitating between two. And my paladin will be also leveled, but it's on the same account as my warrior. Since I give priority to my warrior, I cannot really play it at the same time. But the truth is that SR raids gives me a lot of flexibility to like raid whenever I want. For example, I can raid today, Wednesday, or I can decide to raid tomorrow, or I can raid Friday. Like no one is going to give me like an attendance sheet where I have to be attending whenever they feel like I have to attend. And that's something like for a dad, because I'm a dad, that is very important. And that's a failed pull, by the way. I don't think we're going to be able to clear it. Can I? No, it's fine. Okay. So I think it's quite important. So I disarm them. It's quite important to be able to be in control with what you can do, what you cannot do, whenever you want to do something, whenever you want to do a raid, for example. Being able to be in control of the gear that you want. We're going to win an AV again. So we have 2 wins. No, we lost at 3%. Such a heartbreak, man. But anyways, I wanted to say that with you guys. I think a lot of people might be quite annoyed by me saying that I prefer SR raids. Some people even prefer DKPs, which is understandable. I understand why, but I personally don't like it. Some people prefer DKPs, some prefer like DKPs or something like that, like another version of DKPs. Personally, I prefer SRs, and like guilds that do SRs, like a half a guild SRing and a half a guild bugging is like perfect, because you have the performance, you have like the things that you want from your pugs, so you can also be picky. You can say, look, you have no gear, mate, you're not coming, or you don't have like pre-abyss, or you don't have like the minimum requirements. And that is like, those are like the better raids. You have like a good, a sustainable number of people that are really try-harding the raid to actually clear it as fast as possible, and a good amount of pugs that are trying to try hard, as well as the guildies, for example. So yeah, I'm personally like doing only SRs pretty much. I enjoy to do that this way. I might do even like SRs, my own SRs. I might make my own groups. I don't know when. It could happen anytime, whenever I have the time for it, because you kind of need to build like a Discord. You need to build like a community. You have to build a core members that are always going to come back, for example. But I personally really like the fact that I'm really enjoying Classic, playing this way. I played in 2019 on Loot Console. I was very, very annoyed. It was always annoying. I felt always like I never got the chance to be on the top, because I just don't socialize enough with the people in the guild, which is fine. I just don't have the time for it. I can socialize for PvP, I can socialize for other stuff, but I'm not going to socialize for just raiding. That's not my thing. So it might be a me problem. Maybe some people prefer loot consoles. I think if you're like a hunter or a druid or whatever, a class that has like tier pieces pretty much for free, I think that's probably okay to do load console. But if you are like a warrior, it's so hard and heartbreaking to know or to not know when you're next for quick strike ring, or for brutality blade, or for viscag, or for whatever item there is. And I think that the transportability is probably going to be the most important thing. But I personally don't really like the fact that I cannot really predict anything. While in an SR raid, I can predict that if this drops, it can be for me. It can be, because I have a chance to roll, and I could lose, but also could win. And that like gambling effect, because it is kind of gambling, right? Is very addicting. I really like enjoy it personally, and having my own schedule, do whatever I want, be able to say, look, maybe I'm not going to raid today because I want to spend time with my family, but I'm gonna raid tomorrow. Why not? You know, and that's something I really like and enjoy personally. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.